Hey, what is up everyone? It's Panda, and I want to do a little bit of a earpad review for headphones. I currently have my HD 650s and my HD 660Ss here, and I have also almost the entire lineup of the Dekoni earpads, including the stock pads that the 650s, 660s, and the 600s come with as well. I don't own 600s, so I'm just using these two as my examples. So currently for my 650s, I keep the Elite velour pads on, and then my 660s, I keep the Elite sheepskin fenstrated, or these are the ones that have the holes throughout them. Make sure those can focus in. So they have so it's pure sheepskin, all real. They're all these are moderately expensive for earpads at least. But to be fair, when you spend $500 on 660s and you spend $300 on 650s, it justifies spending $70, $80, $40 for a pair of earpads. So for audio-wise, most people are fine with the stock pads. I personally don't like them. They just don't fit my ears that well. If they're fine with you, you'll probably be best sticking with them. If you want the more... So I'll start out with the Elite velours first. The Elite velours bring up the bass to the more low-end bass. They bring that up by a noticeable bit. They bring the mids down slightly. The mids get a little bit recessed, and the highs come off very slightly as well. So I find I keep these on my 650s. I run my 650s off tubes as well. So those are more of my fun, more electro, maybe dubstep style music, things of that sort. And then my 660s are my current gaming, critical listening, I want them to be as neutral as possible, which I run off my Loon X7 Class A headphone amp balanced. So I have a 4-pin balance connector for those. That's what those get run off of. So those I keep the Elite sheepskin on, which I find to be the most neutral of all of the pads, excluding the stock pads. The stock pads are the most neutral of all. They'll have the stock pads. They're going to have the most natural sounding for them. They're the flattest sound, I would say. They're what they're going to sound like. The Elite sheepskins hold the most to that. They sound the most like the stocks, but with the added benefit of the Dekoni comfort. All of these pads are incredibly comfortable. I would say the Elite hybrids, which are velour that contacts your ear, they're solid sheepskin on the outside, and then they're vented sheepskin on the inside. Let me get that for you. There we go. I would say these are the most comfortable out of all of them. Then I would say it would probably be the Elite velours and then the Elite sheepskin, just because having leather all the way around, they get a little bit warm if you're doing it for long sessions, especially since I use these in my gaming headphones and pads. They get a little bit warm over time, but these are still open back, so it gives you quite a bit of airways, and they're definitely manageable. There's nothing, they don't get overheated at any point. The Elite hybrids are my least favorite. There is a pure sheepskin variant they have that's solid sheepskin on the outside, contact, and inside. They don't, most places don't sell them. Most people don't like those. I don't think you can even, you might be able to find them on Dekoni's website, but these are my least favorite. They bring up the mid and they bring up the low end and the low mids a lot, to a point that's more, these bring it up to a fast, punchy, like, it's a very nice, fast, and punchy low end. But only the low end. They don't make the mids bassy. They recess the mids a little bit, but not enough that you're going to go, oh, these are not good. It's some people might not like it. I like it, but I keep it on my 650s, and my 660s are more neutral still. These bring up the low end by a lot, and they bring the low mid ends up to a more bassy as well, which I do not like. The highs get brought down a noticeable amount. The highs actually sound like my 7XXs, almost. They bring it down a lot, which the 7XSs are a super neutral headphone. They're really flat all the way across the board, and they have a lot, they make the highs down a lot like that. And then the mid-mids and the upper mids are all very neutral still. So they bring up the low end and the low mids up a lot. They bring the high end down a noticeable amount, but then all of the mid-mids and high mids are kept perfectly even. So if you're doing a lot of maybe more like mid vocals and stuff like that, like simple guitar, most guitar strums, these make the guitar sound like it's almost a bass guitar, which I don't like. These are getting returned. I'm sticking with the Elite velours, and I'm sticking with the Elite sheepskin. And then if I ever really need to, I still have all of my stock pads as well. These are the boxes they come in as well. These are the boxes for the, it's a little bit bright, unfortunately, because of the dark background. This is the box that the hybrids come in. This is the box that the Elite velours come in. And this is the box that the Elite sheepskin come in, which is why it has the little holes. They all, when you open them up, got some texting up there, Dekoni. They're a magnet. There's magnets up there and there, which makes it click in. So it's a really nice, simple box. They're listed as 600s and 650s. They all use the exact same parts. You can use the 650 cups on the 660 headband. You can use the 650 headband on the 600 cups. Everything's cross-compatible. They're all exact same with minor details. It's all the driver mostly. The 600s are the biggest difference amongst them all. They have they're the only ones that have a different mesh grill on the outside. Let me focus it in for you guys. This has a little bit of like a lip all the way around here and has the logo. The 650s and 600s just have this ovaled one, which doesn't affect anything. I have found that these are a little bit stiffer. The grill on this is stiffer than this. I have had a little dent inwards on this one time when I dropped them off my old headphone stand, which put a little bit dent in, but you can you don't need any tools to take these apart. You can take these apart down to the drivers without any tools. They're you can take them all apart by hand. They're easy to reassemble, they're easy to take apart, and you can just pop those out, kind of fold it back in with your hand, and it will be perfect again. There's no more small imperfections on it. They're all excellent. So, just wanted to note for the earpads quickly, because I haven't seen anything on the internet for anyone doing anything in-depth for these, and this isn't in-depth either. This is just a quick kind of what these are. Maybe I'll make them more in-depth later on, but for the most part, Elite velours are bring up the low end, recess the mids a little bit, bring down the high very slightly, more fun 650s on tubes earpads for me. The Elite sheepskin are the most neutral and sound the most like the stock earpads for me on the 660s at least. And they're what I use for longer periods of gaming. They do get a little bit warmer since they're leather all the way around. Then the Elite hybrids are my least favorites, being a lot of bass, a lot of mid-end bass. Highs are super recessed and mids are left untouched. Well, mid-mids and high-mids. So, just want to make that as a quick video. Hopefully this helps you guys out there.